expecting one of those over-dramatic documentaries. You know, the one you put on with David Attenborough's voice in the background, and you take one of the best afternoon naps. What I wasn't expecting was to be completely emotionally unraveled by a cephalopod. Yet, as the film began off the depths of the South African coast, it ended up deep diving into a far deeper conversation, one about human connections. As I watched a lone filmmaker forge a quiet, fragile relationship with an octopus, I was left to reflect on my own humanity. That octopus didn't just teach him, it taught me. And honestly, I've never looked at calamari the same way since. But what makes these creatures so fascinating in the first place? The answer doesn't lie in its camouflage, nor does it lie in its escape artistry, but in its intelligence. An intelligence so like our own that it's impossible to ignore. We often think of other animals like ourselves as the pinnacle of evolution. But what if one of the most advanced minds lies in the depths of the ocean, one that almost seems to be an alien intelligence here on Earth? And what if I told you that that same mind may hold the answers, not just to questions like what intelligence truly is, but how we treat diseases such as cancer? In society, octopus have been more closely associated with modern myth than with modern science. Amenities, ancient spiral-shelled cephalopods, have been intertwined into human history. In Great Britain, people often associated their fossils with petrified snakes. In India, they were seen as a symbol of the Lord Vishnu. And among the Blackfoot and other indigenous groups here in North America, they were seen as good luck charms during buffalo hunting. Our ancestors saw them as godlike and intelligent. And even here today, in media and literacy, they still play a far different role in comparison to other species. From Disney's Ursula to propaganda, octopus have represented the more manipulative and even enigmatic, darker aspects of nature. So how does a creature, one known for its darker, more enigmatic sides, have any relation with neuroscience? To answer that, we need to see how they are, and aren't, eerily similar to us. We last split from the octopus 600 million years ago, when we shared a small, worm-like ancestor with them. For the past 600 million years, we have been developing entirely without octopus, and octopus without us. This is far different from other intelligent species such as dogs, parrots, or cats. In part, their intelligence is because of us. We domesticated them. But not with octopus. Their intelligence is entirely their own. And this has baffled scientists for centuries, especially considering their lack of a backbone. They have redefined what intelligence truly means. And this isn't the only characteristic that has caught scientists' attention. Their skin has also been looked at for both medical and cosmetic application. And without the squid's giant axon, we would never know how neurons really communicate. But what do they have to do with neuroanatomy, or what do they have to do with oncology? Let's take a look at their actual anatomy and their actual brains. Octopus have a decentralized nervous system in comparison to us. So instead of having one brain like you and I do, they have 9 brains, including one donut-shaped brain that serves as the main cord, and each arm having its own individual brain. But that isn't the only bizarre thing that octopus have. Their behavior also differs from us. Let's think about when you and I get cold. We might shiver, maybe put on a jacket, but not octopus. They do something incredible. They edit their RNA, the molecules that interpret their own DNA, just in the response to temperature change. They literally change themselves at the molecular level. To put that into perspective, how many of us have heard the nature versus nurture debate? Just raise your hand real quick. A lot of us, right? So this debate stems from the side that we have the nature side, which says that we are who we are and will become who we'll become because of what our parents have given us, our DNA. And the nurture side, that says that our environment shapes who we're going to be. Our environment shapes our history. But even if we believe the nature side, which does have compelling evidence, that still takes 18 plus years to see any sort of impact onto our own DNA. Yet, octopus are able to do what takes us 18 plus years in just a couple of hours, if not days, with some species reportedly making up to 14,000 edits in a couple of hours. Their genome is also far larger than us, with 33,000 coding proteins in comparison to our 20 to 25,000. And this makes sense. Let's look back in history. One of the biggest events that happened to our planet was the extinction of the dinosaurs. Along with that, the amenities also went extinct, leaving soft-shell cephalopods like squids and octopus defenseless and on their own. They had to be able to adapt to the rapidly changing environment if they wanted any chance of survival. So, of course, they had to implement RNA editing. So genetically speaking, octopus are winning in comparison to us, which makes you wonder, are they really the aliens? Or are we? This also makes them a prime candidate for cancer research. Cancer's various variations has one unifying theme, the fact that it's able to bypass mechanisms set in place to regulate cell growth. If we're able to implement this RNA editing from octopus at a rate that they're able to do it, then we have cancer treatments that are both effective and personalized. But this isn't the only unique thing that octopus have in relation to oncology. What if the very same thing that octopus use to escape predators could help us one day escape the grasp of cancer? Cephalopod ink is made up of many bioactive compounds that have anti-cancer properties. They've been linked with increased cell death, as well as an increased immune response to tumors. Other studies have also found that they decrease oxidative stress, one of the things that causes DNA damage in the first place, and prevents new blood vessels from being grown, which tumors often hijack to nutrients themselves. While research is fairly new, this could be a pivotal step in the right direction for both low-toxic and natural cancer treatments, and also represents the field's natural gravitational towards interdisciplinary developments. Which begs the new question. Perhaps the best way to look at cancer treatment is not by looking at us humans, but by thinking outside the box. And what better creature to do that than the one known for squeezing itself out of little holes? One quote that always sticks with me whenever I rewatch my octopus teacher is, "It was how she made me feel, not a visitor of the place, but a part of it." Learning about octopus has certainly expanded my own knowledge, but it's also taught me about joy and resilience. The octopus, a creature down in the depths of the ocean, is able to adapt to mass extinction levels, then perhaps our brains, our biologies, are far capable of things than we could even imagine possible. It's part of that reason that I founded the Mind Matters Movement, a nonprofit dedicated to raising awareness about brain cancer research. Our mission is simple. We hope to raise funds for hospitals like Cincinnati Children's and the National Brain Tumor Society, as well as raise awareness for acts like the Brain Cancer Act, a recently introduced bipartisan act in Congress that ensures that research is guaranteed on the federal level, as well as preliminary screenings, and ensure that accessible oncology resources are there for both patients and communities, those who are at risk and those who are not. It's simple. Science isn't limited to the laboratory. It's for all of us to share. And octopus understand that more than anyone else. They revealed a mirror to us here today, because they aren't just a marvel of a myth, nor a footnote in evolutionary history. They're the blueprint to resilience, hope, and adaptability. So the next time we take a look at these ancient, beautiful creatures, know that we're learning more about ourselves than we are about them. They may have one day been our sea monsters, but today, they are our greatest teachers. Thank you.